got a lot to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, to start with, we've got great news. Per Joe Cahill from News Nation, Scoop. UAP whistleblower David Grush has officially been approved for and accepted a position to work on Congressman Eric Burleson's personal office staff. Grush's title will be Senior Advisor and will mostly advise on UAP UFO related topics. His role will begin as a temporary 4-month post. That's very significant. That indicates that he'll be mainly working with or exclusively working with the Declassification Task Force and not as a general staffer for the Oversight Committee. He's an advisor for Eric Burleson working with the task force. And there's an article here from Joe Cahill on News Nation about this, but it doesn't go into any more detail. That's all we know about it. But very exciting news. Previously, Eric Burleson has said they were only waiting for David Grush to join them on the task force before they got serious about pursuing UFO subjects. So that seems to indicate they're waiting for David to be read in and all his clearances and stuff, and he's part of the staff so they can share information openly. Does that mean they can share information without being in a skiff now? We'll see. We'll see. But he did say they were waiting for David to join them on the task force before pursuing UFOs. So perhaps that does mean that David Grush can give them names, dates, places, direct leads for them to follow up on. That is super exciting. I hope he does. I don't know why they couldn't act on this information earlier, since he's supplied this information earlier in a classified setting. But maybe now they can pursue it more openly. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I don't know if anybody does, but either way, it's very exciting. They got David, which is what they were waiting for, and now the show can really begin. I'm pumped, guys. I am pumped. This is super exciting. Lou Elizondo is also optimistic about the times ahead, saying that he expects good things from UFO disclosure from the Trump administration. I can't play this clip for more than a few seconds because it's got music playing and I'll get a copyright claim, but here he is.
This administration is very proactive on trying to get to the bottom of this. There are key members on the cabinet that are very interested and are very motivated.
Okay, good. Well, I certainly hope so. Trump does seem to be surrounded by pro-transparency people. We've got the task force going. We've got Grush. There are definitely reasons to be optimistic. There are reasons to be pessimistic as well and skeptical. Obviously, the FAA approved line is total BS. It isn't a great indicator of super transparency, but it is what it is. They couldn't admit the truth of the mystery drones because that would be catastrophic disclosure. This is a worldwide phenomenon that's been shutting down military bases and airports around the world. To reveal that those are actually anomalous vehicles, that they're interfering with our airspace, shutting down airports, and we can't do anything about it, that aliens are doing this, that would be pretty catastrophic for a lot of people. So I understand reluctantly why they felt the need to run with the BS on the mystery drones. At least I'm assuming that's why, because I do think we're probably looking at something more anomalous with the mystery drones. Okay, but what about the giant underground structure below the Khafre Pyramid in the Giza Plateau? I know we all want to know about what the hell that thing is. Is it real? What's going on there? Well, maybe we can gain some insight from remote viewing or from psychics. Daz Smith contacted me on Twitter and said, did you see the Ingo Swan Pyramid remote viewing on that? And he's directing me to his website, 8 Martinis, and I'll link to this. You can download the article here. Goes to here. I mean, it's a long article, but when we get into Ingo Swann's remote viewing or psychic impressions of Giza, well, there's a lot of detail. But just to talk about Kefra, it was built much later, Ingo says, about 3000 BC. Probably was built as a burial place, he says. He says probably. 2 undiscovered chambers, but beneath Kefren is a network of tunnels quite vast in nature and which extend to the west into the Plaza Cliffs and then beneath the sand dunes out there. Oh yes, there are 3 boat enclosures at the south of Cheops. Kefren has a radically different psychic feel than Cheops. Oh, and by the way, Cheops is another word for the Great Pyramid. Khufu is also called Cheops. And it's interesting talking about these boat enclosures because I gave a possible explanation about the boats in that scientific paper by that same team that is now revealing the information about the Kefra Pyramid in the structure underneath. So yeah, the boats is an interesting angle in all of this. But yeah, the Kefren has a radically different psychic feel than Cheops. I could breathe in it. Hardly could in Cheops. When I sat outside Kefren on its west side, facing west, saw this tremendous stone against which I was leaning. How could this have been moved without breaking apart? Got the feeling it was poured in place. Oh, and here's where it gets even more spicy. Beneath the plaza are rooms and tunnels, most beneath a water table, which must not have been there at one time. And yeah, so if we're talking about giant chambers 2 kilometers below the ground, clearly that's going to be below the water table, right? So really intriguing that he was seeing rooms and tunnels below the water table. Why all the shafts? He's talking about shafts. The sheikh told me they were wells. So I would like more information about that. The sheikh was aware of these shafts. What are they talking about specifically with these shafts? Are they talking about the great shafts that now appear based on the evidence that we've seen so far to be under that pyramid, going down to the giant chambers 2 kilometers beneath the pyramid? Are those the shafts he's talking about, or is he talking about something else? The sheikh knew about it, so maybe these are more surface shafts. I don't know. But the sheikh told him they were wells. Some of them, Ingo says, but not all. The rest must have been air shafts, but I got the impression that light rays came up out of some of them. What kind of light and why, I don't know. So yeah, so he was seeing deep tunnels and chambers, below the pyramid, below that pyramid, and also shafts. Light was coming out of some of these things, and they may have been air chambers as well. To some deeper stuff under the pyramid. Really, really intriguing. Thank you, Daz, for pointing this out to me. In other news, Congressman Wicker says he doesn't want to be quoted about drones. Okay, intriguing. Yep, Matt Laszlo caught up to Senator Wicker and says, "Sir, I was actually." Roger Wicker says, "I already talked to you once." I love it. He's trying to brush Matt Laszlo off. Oh my God. But Matt isn't deterred. He says, "Actually, I was wondering, don't you know my rule?" Wicker says. Matt says, "Oh, I know, sir. I was actually wondering if you misheard my question because I was." There's beeping going on. Wicker says, "Are you willing to walk with me?" Okay, that's something. "Yeah, sure," Matt says, "because I'm going outside. Wherever the chair wants me to go." I guess that's the right answer, Matt. Because I was asking about the drones over sensitive military sites in Jersey and elsewhere. You talked about Hal Rogers' place, and I was like, wait. Skipping ahead a little bit, Matt says, "That's where I was curious what your thoughts are on the claim that the FAA knows what's hovering over sensitive sites. I mean, especially after the Langley incursion." Wicker says, well, Matt says, or are the two not, connected, I guess. Okay, let me give you a little background here, the congressman says. Yeah? Wicker says, because I don't want to be quoted about drones. Fair, fair, Matt says. Wicker and Laszlo keep walking and talking for another minute or so, hence the dead air in this podcast episode. Just because Laszlo wants to warm him up to discuss the issue after a 60 Minutes episode airs. So what does he have to say about drones? Nothing else. He doesn't want to be quoted about them. He doesn't want to talk about them. But obviously there's something not to talk about, right? So what does Wicker know and why doesn't he want to talk about it? Meanwhile, some clarification about what Pippa Malmgren might have meant when she talked about dogfighting in space. Per defensenews.com, China demonstrated satellite dogfighting, Space Force General says. A top Space Force general said Tuesday that commercial systems have observed Chinese satellites rehearsing dogfighting maneuvers in low Earth orbit, the U.S. adversary's latest show of tactical and technological advancement in space capabilities. With our commercial assets, we have observed 5 different objects in space maneuvering in and out and around each other in synchronicity and in control. Vice Chief of Space Operations, General Gutlin, I nailed that. Said during the Michaelis, nailed that too, Defense Programs Conference in Washington. That's what we call dogfighting in space. They are practicing tactics, techniques, and procedures to do on-orbit space operations from one satellite to another. Okay, so that's a little clarification on what Pippa was talking about with this dogfighting in space. Not necessarily talking about spaceships dogfighting with each other like in Star Wars, but satellites acting against each other. Meanwhile, Truth Poll says a man goes viral for allegedly recording a real alien. Footage looks compelling. Okay, all right, well, I'll bite. Let's give it a shot. It's a minute-long video.
I just saw the alien and I've recorded it on my TV with a tripod because I recorded on that camera and I can't get it off the disc. So that's the way I had to do it. This is just using a normal camera. Okay.
Okay, I could do without the heavy breathing there, but all right, check it out. I mean, I guess I'd be breathing pretty heavy too, honestly, if I saw that guy, right? If this is legit and he actually saw this fella poking through the trees, yeah, you can't blame him for breathing heavy. What do you think? Is this legit? Is that a being poking through the trees? Or are we looking at a man in a mask or pareidolia? What is this thing? Is that a raccoon? I know Mick West has got a raccoon picture somewhere to debunk this. Yeah. Okay. What is that? What is that? This is a separate video. So he captured 2 aliens in 2 separate videos. Is that what we're dealing with? Yeah. What is that? I can't make. It looks like octopus or something. What is going on there? Is that the head of a being and that's the shoulders? Yeah, okay, I got it now. Okay, yeah, that's the head. There's 2 eyes. That's the body, kind of leaning sideways. Okay, oh, there we go. Okay, I think that's pretty clear right there. I think that's pretty clear. Yeah, okay. I don't know, guys. It's interesting footage. I can see why Truth Poll says it's compelling. I wish it were larger and more in focus, but we work with what we got. So let me know what you think about that interesting footage. Let me know what you think about it all. Meanwhile, he thinks he saved a duck from drowning.
Violet, are you for real right now? Violet, drop the duck. Drop it.
He totally saved that duck. Totally saved that duck. All right. Let me know what you think about this awesome dog saving the duck and everything else covered today in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Also Discord and Rumble. If you want to support the channel, grab a t-shirt or a coffee mug. Grab a copy of my latest novel. I'm a novelist. I write fantasy and science fiction books. Grab book 1 of Cosmic Road. Or become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I will see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.